Hello, I'm Matt Williamson at Williamson NFL. How's it going? I am doing great. Weather seems to be wonderful, but maybe turning here soon. Starting to really feel like football season. Coming down the home stretch. Couple things. Kind of want to. We're gonna still look backwards, not forwards, at this point. Talking about that rough loss, to say the least, on Thursday night. But Dave Schofield, thank you, Dave, if you're listening, tweeted me this stuff, and I thought it was extremely interesting, and I wanted to make sure I share it with you. First off, it's going to sound like I'm making a lot of excuses in this podcast, and I hope it doesn't come across that way. But anyone that's followed me in the last 20 years in media or whatever, know that I absolutely hate Thursday night football. I don't think it's a good representation of either team. I think it's extremely rough on the road team. I think the league will do away with it at some point when they go to 18 games and 2 byes, that teams will have a bye going into the Thursday nighter so they don't have to turn around. I think it's dangerous. I think players hate it. And you don't get good football, and especially road teams wear down way quicker than they should in these games, which we'll get to. And I think that was the case. Again, these are not excuses. That doesn't mean what the Steelers defense put on tape is at all acceptable in that game. 1,000%. But anyways, back to this tweet from Dave. Dave went out and did the research, and he said Thursday night AFC North records. At home, the Steelers are 9-2 in just AFC North game. Or no, I'm sorry. These are just against any opponent. Doesn't matter who the opponent was. Now, a lot of them are divisional. So 19, he did real quick. There's been 38 AFC North home games. 19 of the 38 home games and 32 away games were divisional. I'm sorry, I'm screwing that up. Some of these are divisional matchups, obviously. But this is just their records overall on Thursday night. The Steelers at home are 9-2 on Thursday nights. The Ravens are 9-0. The Browns are 9-1. The Bengals are 6-2. So these teams are all awesome at home, often against a division opponent, but not always. Okay. That's a pretty strong trend. 9-0, 9-1, 9-2, 6-2. How about the all 4 teams, though, on the road on Thursday nights? As we know, the Steelers, Tomlin, 2-9. It's really bad. How about the Ravens? They're probably pretty good. They've won a lot of games lately. They're 2-6 on road Thursday night games, no matter who they play. The Brownies, 1-5. The Bengals, 1-6. So all these teams, and they often play each other on Thursday nights, are great at home and horrendous on the road. So what Dave writes, which is pretty clear from what we just went over there, is it's not a Steeler thing. It's not a Tomlin thing. It's an AFC North thing. Take what you want out of that, but I'm just reading off from win-loss records, and I think he's on to something, to say the least.
Football season's finally here. Time to check out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Think the Steelers are headed to the Super Bowl? Lock in your bets today. Whatever your game, FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials, so you can join in on all the action.
For those of you who are doing real work in construction, in a warehouse, if you're a mechanic, if you want reliable, comfortable gear to help you perform well on the job, Brunt Workwear's got you. They have waterproof boots, safety toe, soft toe, pull on, or lace up, whatever you need. You can wear them to work, and if they're not right for you, send them back. I don't know any other brand doing that. Brunt was tired of the workwear brands out there cutting corners. You work too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that don't hold up. So they built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. And for a limited time, our listeners get $10 off. Just head to bruntworkwear.com. That's bruntworkwear.com and use our code DK Sports, all one word, all caps, DK Sports, and you're good to go. After your order, they'll ask you where you heard about Brunt. Do us a favor and tell them it was from my show. Thank you so much. Again, not an excuse. What they put out there was terrible. What I told you guys post-game was I can half sort of semi live with Higgins and especially Chase having big nights. There's been many nights, I'm sure. I don't know the NBA, but I guess it opens Tuesday night. Michael Jordan scores 60 points, and it didn't matter who you put on him that night. He's just the best player on the court and is an unstoppable force. And I really think Chase was that on Thursday night. Higgins not as much, but he's really good. He's Pippen. Again, I don't know my NBA references. But there's times that just a player in any league, Lemieux, whoever, is just unbelievable. And I definitely think that was at play. Okay. However, there's some schematic things that bother me a lot. Is contrary to popular belief, the Steelers did change things up throughout the game with their coverages and who covers who. And there's times they flat out doubled Chase and Yoshivas hit him over the top at single coverage. Flacco always knew where to go with the ball, much like Rodgers. That's just a veteran quarterback thing when you're that successful for that long at that position in this league. And they did man, they did zone, they put Slay on him, they put Ramsey on him, they put Porter on him. It didn't matter. Jordan was getting his 60. You know what I mean? Okay. But what we didn't see much of that I have a problem with, but I'm also going to at least give the coaching staff, mostly Tomlin, some benefit of the doubt in the end here, is we did not see a lot of press man or hardly at all. Okay, you go into this game thinking that's not your strategy, and I'll get into this in a minute. But when you've played deep enough into the game to realize Flacco's getting the ball out of his hands in 2.4 seconds, and he's just hitting the open guys quick, namely Chase. And I guess Flacco was interviewed after the game and more or less just said, I don't really know the playbook. I'm just throwing to the really good receiver that's open all the time. It's like if we're all playing pickup at recess. Well, I'm going to draft the best kid. I'm going to throw him the ball every time. It's kind of what the Bengals did, or what Flacco did. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm new here. And the Steelers never went to press man coverage as kind of a staple to at least disrupt routes early in the route. Maybe get beat over the top. Who knows? The other thing that they didn't do well at all, and a lot of it was alignment, got to blame coaching. There was definitely some fatigue involved. Again, I'm going to reference Thursday night. I mean, there was poor tackling and it was way too early, but from the second quarter on, the defense looked mentally and physically fatigued. Now, I'm not going to blame Tomlin. He should they make him run the steps and get him into shape. I don't know. I mean, but there were missed tackles and fatigue issues way too early in this game, but you often see it on Thursday nights across the league. Not in the second quarter as much, but still. John Ledyard, who I think does really good work. He's been on top of the Steelers for a long time. I watched a video he put out of basically like the biggest 8 or so Chase Brown runs in this game. And there was a common theme in all of them, was there was not someone responsible for the gap that he was running through on many of those runs. That it looked like backyard football. Flacco comes to the line of scrimmage, realizes there's not someone in the B gap, including a linebacker on the second level that's an obvious fill for that spot. And I'm summarizing. John's video is much more detailed. And he calls a run to run through that bubble. And even if everyone plays it perfectly, which they didn't, there would be some sort of gap there. Now, this does happen in football. You can not have enough people in the box to cover every gap. or, you got a 2 gap or gap and a half or whatever. And the Steelers did not dedicate extra defenders to the run game very often. Sort of for obvious reasons. They feared the pass much more because this is like the worst running team in the league. But I'll tell you, Elliott was phenomenal in this game in that all those runs that were basically through gaps that weren't manned by the defense, Elliott saved 50-yard runs and kept him at 8-yard runs by coming downhill and smashing and cleaning up Brown. So all of this is unacceptable. You're getting crushed. Flacco's destroying you mentally and physically. Brown looks like Jim Brown instead of Chase Brown. Chase looks like Jordan. Okay, I can kind of live with that. Higgins looks like Pippen, and you're letting it happen. Now, one thing, because bothered me, this has gone on a long time. I'm recording this on Monday, and this happened Thursday. Let's think as those around you think it a little bit. Why would the Steelers allow this to happen? And let's go to Tomlin. He's the head coach. I bet, and he'll never admit this, nor should he, that he looked at this game, and even as the game went on, he realized this Bengals defense stinks. We're going to score a lot of points against them. And in a way, that's really refreshing in that he could never take that approach when Russ, Pickett, Duck, Trubisky, Rudolph, whoever was his quarterback since Ben. You could never take the approach of, I can live with the high scoring game. I mean, the numbers of the Steelers allowing 20 points or more, their win-loss record is horrible over the last 5-6 years. But I think he finally looked at the offense against a terrible defense and thought, my defense, my Steeler defense, almost certainly will make more big plays than their Bengal defense. Steelers defense specializes in it. Sacks, tip balls, forced fumbles, on and on. Interceptions, turnovers, big hits. And that didn't happen. The Steelers turned the ball over twice, which frankly I think was the difference in this game. If you sort of cut down to it of who wins and loses, is you lost the turnover battle 2-0 in a game where neither defense stopped anybody. So it gave him 2 more opportunities. But I bet his strategy was well into this game and game planning for it was this is going to be a high scoring game. We don't have to play 13-9 football. And my defense will make more big plays than theirs. And my only job is to get out of this thing with a win. If we allow a lot of yardage, so be it. So we're going to not dedicate extra defenders to the run or load up boxes. We're not going to press Chase and Higgins, and we'll allow them to paper cut us to death and allow yardage. And in turn, maybe some points, or definitely some points. And if they get to 24, 25, we can outscore them. And our defense will take the ball away a couple times and hit Flacco, and we'll win that in those margins. And we're better on special teams. We have a better kicker. Well, it just didn't happen. Again, I'm not making excuses, but I can understand the logic. Now, that doesn't hold true deep in the game, though. I mean, when you're realizing, okay, we're on the ropes, well, how about more press man coverage or more gap sound responsibility against Chase Brown? But I'm done talking about this game. I dedicated an extra podcast to it because it's been eating at me. Why would they do what they did? And I think I at least talked through some logic behind it. That if you don't turn the ball over twice, we might be talking about, man, Steelers D is really worrisome, but they got to win and the offense is impressive and, they outscored them and I should have said this too. I think that the logic was we just can't allow the Bengals offense to hit one over the top. If they're going to have 10 play drives, 12 play drives with quick hitters and runs, and they end up, we firm up in the red zone, or they get a holding call, or we pick one off once in a while, and they just don't hit the 80-yarder. They can't have the explosive 2-play drive. I can't let Chase get behind press coverage and doing a dance in the end zone over the top, because we know Joe, who they know really well, will always take shots. You know, I mean, he's going to get defensive pass interference calls. He's going to throw deep. He is not bashful about those shots. If we give him looks where he's going to shoot downfield, he's going to take them, and especially with these receivers. So again, I think the thought was, didn't work. I'm not excusing it. I'm just trying to get in their head. If we make them sustain long drives, they'll score some points. We will also have a couple big plays on defense, and our offense is going to score a ton of points against a horrible defense. And a lot of it was true, just not enough of it. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care.